What's up, everybody? Your boy Patrick again, back with Second Take. And today's video is my review on the New York Giants versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, before I get into the actual game, I wanted to preface this by saying my last week video, I spoke about how if the Cowboys beat the Vikings this week, even if the Giants win or lose, I think it will be getting to that point where we probably have to concede the NFC East division title. Now, with that said, not only did the Cowboys beat the Vikings 17-15, the Giants actually lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday 24-14. So with that said, the Cowboys have clinched a playoff spot. They have not clinched the division yet. But in order for the Giants to win the division, we'd have to win out and the Cowboys have to lose out. Because right now, as it stands, the Giants are 8-4 and the Cowboys are 11-1. So they're up 3 with 3 to play. It doesn't matter whether the Giants beat them next week. It really doesn't matter, because even if we're up 2-0 versus them for the season in head-to-head matchups, that won't matter if the Cowboys win another game. So it doesn't matter. The only thing I would say is I do not want them to clinch the division. Next week on Sunday night, the Sunday night matchup is Cowboys at Giants. So I'd rather not see them celebrate a division title on our field versus us. So, but other than that, it's very unlikely that we're going to win this division, especially after losing. But by the Cowboys winning last week, it definitely makes things a lot easier for the Cowboys to win the division. With that said, let's get into the review. So, Pittsburgh, I did not expect us to win that game, to be honest, and being that it was at Pittsburgh made it that much tougher. Let's get into it. Offensive line, defensive line. I'm going to start with offensive line like I normally do and say I've just about had it with Ereck Flowers. I literally every week have been on here and have said either Ereck Flowers held somebody or Ereck Flowers had a false start. This is his second year. He, to me right now, is Luke Pettigrew 2.0. A guy who was our left tackle for so long, and I actually remember signing him to a $20-some-odd million deal, and he was not the best left tackle. Ereck Flowers, man, it's time to get rid of you. It's time to get rid of you, man. It's time to move on. Get a new left tackle. Joe Thomas, we were apparently in discussion to grab this guy from Cleveland for a trade. Joe Thomas, about 30 years old, I believe, right now. But he is a Pro Bowler. I think it's seriously time for us to figure out who's our new left tackle starting today. Go draft somebody. Go sign somebody. Go trade somebody. Go do something. Now, also, he was not flagged for a hold that got Jennings in the end zone, but that was also a flag. But he also had a holding call that resulted in a safety. That's why I did not understand why we were throwing. We should have kept running. Even if it was, a yard or 2, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, it did not matter because of the implications that it had with us actually getting a holding penalty. Our offensive line, from a pass protective standpoint, is pretty good. But we commit too many penalties, whether it's holds or false starts. Newhouse, another one that we got to get rid of. Beatty, I don't know. Well, Beatty, however you say his name, I don't know why people think this guy's good. He's trash. That's why he doesn't even make it onto the field. John Jerry's another one who had another penalty yesterday. Our offensive line, with the exception of our center and our left guard, who's injured right now, is trash. And we need to re-up on this, because I always tell people, and I've said it multiple times in these videos, offensive line, defensive line will determine how far you go. Right now you can see the Cowboys, they don't have a great defense. They don't have a quarterback who's throwing for 300 yards all the time. They got a running back who's running for 100-plus yards, and they have a quarterback who barely does, anything spectacular. He just makes the easy read. The good thing about the Cowboys, they have a great offensive line. A great offensive line. And that offensive line is carrying this team right now to an 11-1 record. On to the defensive side of the line for us in this game. Olivier Vernon, I'm going to say it again. I truly believe he had a broken hand because for the past 5 games, he's had a sack. Yesterday, he had 2 sacks. He also had a sack without JPP on the field yesterday, who was subjected to a groin injury. And looks like, he's probably going to miss a couple of games, which, it sucks, especially when he was starting to really come into his own again, for the past 2 games. It's, sad to see because I would like to see him and Vernon get a crack at this stretch run, but it's probably not going to happen. I think JPP will miss a couple games here. From a run perspective, I mean, our running defense was okay. I will say that. It was okay. Yes, towards the end of the game, we got worn out, and all Pittsburgh did was run, and run it right down our throats. And yes, we did give up 100 yards to a rusher. It took him 29 carries to get like 129 yards, I think. I think it's a pretty decent day, man. We didn't get tortured on the run, but we didn't, stop them either. So give Pittsburgh credit, man. They did their job and what they're supposed to do. From a linebacker perspective, I mean, we got beat quite a few times. One was the safety that actually got beat by the tight end, but we did get beat by the tight end Green a couple of times, and the linebackers were in coverage, especially that one on the sideline where our linebacker kind of got lost, number 58. I forget his name, but Casillas also, had a nice play with a strip in a pile. So we got a fumble recovery by Eli Apple. Going into the DBs, Eli Apple had a fumble recovery and an interception. Nice game from him. He's actually not too bad, man. I don't know if he's ready to step into the shoes of DRC when he finally either hangs it up or doesn't sign with the Giants or whatever. But I don't know if he's ready to hang it up yet. So I think Eli Apple will probably be our nickel corner for the most part. Defensively, man, I thought we played okay, man. We didn't get dominated by Pittsburgh. It's just our offense couldn't do anything, man. This one is on our offense. Our offense couldn't do anything. Eli Manning, the second interception, to me, whatever. He's struggling. He's got to make a play. He's trying to come from behind 14 points or whatever they were down at the time. I think it was 21-7. I'll give him a pass on that one. That first interception, man, he tried to lay it in there to Donnell, but I think he did not see that linebacker coming up underneath him. So it was an interception, man. A little more air under that ball, and it's a touchdown. But from an offensive standpoint, we got to learn to spread the ball a little bit more, man. There was a point in the third quarter where it was just Beckham. And to have Odell Beckham with 16 targets and Victor Cruz with none. Now, I'm not saying Victor Cruz has looked anywhere like the Victor Cruz that we're used to seeing him as the 1,000-yard receiver. But, yeah, you got to, I mean, that's Eli falling into the Plexico Burress syndrome again, where all he finds is just one guy and zones in and targets in. It makes the defense pretty easy to read. Now, Odell did have 100 yards, but to me, they weren't impact 100 yards. They were just kind of just filler yards. Special teams, we made our field goals. We made our extra points. So actually, we had no field goals, but we made our extra points. We didn't fumble. We didn't muff kicks. We didn't give up big returns. Special teams was okay. Overall, man, we're 8-4. Not a bad record, man. 8-4. If you're 8-4 right now, any team, you take it. But for me, I got to see more, man. I got to see more. We have to get to 10 victories. I don't know if we can do it. We've got Redskins coming up. We've got Eagles coming up. We've got Cowboys coming up. And then I believe we face the Lions also. So out of those 4 games, man, the Eagles right now look terrible. But the rest of those other 3 teams, they're over 500, man. And they're actually all playing well. So we'll see how this all shakes up, man. But in the end, man, 8-4. Right now, we're the first wild card, which gives us the 5th seed. So right now, the 5th seed would face the 6th seed. If the playoffs were to start today, we face the Redskins. We lost to the Redskins. We were up big in that one game versus them, and then we kind of broke apart and lost. We'll see, man. But right now, 8-4, man. I mean, it is what it is. But not a bad week for the Giants. I mean, you know, a loss, but I thought, you know, our offense was just anemic, man. Other phases of the game, we played pretty well, man. We didn't give ourselves a shot with our offense. Our offense was backs against the wall all day, you know, starting in bad field position until late in the game, and it was not enough for us to overcome. But anyway, man, 8-4, we'll chalk up this loss, man. This is the end of my video. I appreciate you listening. If you like what you see, go check out some of my other videos. I talk about sports and technology on this channel mainly. I do throw in a game here and there, a video game. But this is your boy Pat. I'm signing off, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.